whatever type of spiritual sadhana one does, essentially, we are within the ambit of these four basic yogas. The yoga of the body, which we refer to as karma yoga. Yoga of the energy, which we call as kriya yoga. The yoga of intellect, which we call as the gnana yoga. And the yoga of the emotion, which we refer to as bhakti yoga or yoga of devotion. These are only four things. In these four things, only the yoga of the body and the yoga of the energy have concrete, tangible processes. You can move from point A to point B if you work towards it. But that of the intellect and emotion largely sets either a conducive ambience or a negative ambience. The significant difference between the ambience of intellect and the ambience of emotion is because the very nature of intellect is to divide everything. Whatever is given to you, if you have a sharp enough intellect, it's like a scalpel. It wants to cut it open and see. So that means if you had one problem, at the end of it you'll have two. This is the nature of the intellect. It once happened. A gypsy man scolding his son, "You good-for-nothing fellow, if you don't learn some jugglery, thievery and some antics to perform, I will put you into a school. You will become an educated man and you will suffer from endless want." Definitely you can't deny that modern education has done this. Though compared to previous generations, in terms of our comforts and convenience, we moved leaps and bounds away from them. But have we stopped complaining? We are complaining like never before. No other generation on the planet has complained as much as this generation is. In fact, the more affluent a society, more complaints. It is not a product of affluence, it's a product of intellect, because this is the nature of the intellect. The intellect pretends to solve problems, but it will multiply problems. Actually, if we take away your intellect and just look at the world around you, there's really no problem, everything is fine. Any problem? But if your intellect is on, you'll find fault with the shape of the mountain. Say, it should have been like this, not like that. So if you pursue inner possibilities, if you pursue your self-realization, or if your ambitions are bigger than that, and intellect is the way that you conduct your body and your energy, because body and energy are tangible situations. Intellect and emotion, you don't know. Today, you look at it and this looks the right thing. Tomorrow you look at it, that looks like the right thing. Today with your emotion you look at this person, this looks like the most beautiful person. Tomorrow you look at that person, that looks like the most beautiful person. Emotion gives you a little more stability, but if you apply just your intellect, then you will see every day it will confuse you about every little thing in your life. The fundamentals of your life or the ambience of your life will never settle, always it's in question mark. This is what the modern societies are suffering from because they have become enslaved to their own intellect, not understanding that intellect functions only from the limited data that you have provided. But you have enslaved yourself to the intellect because intellect makes you look smart in front of other people. You will be dumb with life. You will not know how to simply sit here joyfully because you have to find a good reason. And as you get more and more intellectual, it becomes harder and harder to find that good reason. Yes? If you are a laughing, joyful person, nobody will consider you as an intellectual, do you know this? You must have a long face and nobody… he's got… not the long face, I'm talking about the right amount of beard if you're a man. If you're a woman, I don't want to describe those things. Intellect gives you this thing, in front of 10 people, you look really smart. If you know how to manufacture more problems than others, you look smarter than others. If you can say something that you yourself cannot understand, you must be truly intellectual. Emotion. When I utter the word emotion, there's a huge resistance, particularly in the Western societies, which India is picking it up rapidly. There's a resistance towards emotion because they have seen the worst of their own emotions. Fear, misery, anger, all kinds of things. But love is also an emotion, compassion is emotion, joy is an emotion, ecstasy is an emotion. If you had seen the most beautiful dimensions of your emotion, you would be for emotion. Because you have a display of the most horrible forms of emotion either within yourself or around you, now you have a resistance towards emotion. If you take to the path of emotion or devotion, if you create an ambience of the sweetness of emotion, within yourself you will be wow, 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 but people think you're stupid, okay? If you are on the path of devotion, within yourself you're fantastic, but in front of people you look stupid. But that could be easily fixed. You just have to learn a few tricks to look smart in front of people, really. If you just don't smile and don't say anything, they think you're smart, do you know this? Yes. If you have a joyful face, they think you're stupid. If you have a serious face and you don't say anything, people will look at you and think, oh, he must be some kind of an intellectual. So if you take to the path of emotion, you have ambience of sweetness, but you don't know anything. But your experience of life is wonderful. If you're intellectual, you think you know everything, but your experience of life will not be good. Your only pleasure is that you get some pleasure with disdain. Looking at her, look at that stupid woman, looking at her, I'm smart. You only enjoy disdain you enjoy that you are little better than others because you can create more problems than them. If you choose intellect as a way for you, for your ultimate nature, first of all, in my estimate, I may be wrong, but I've seen people across the world, in my estimate, not even 2% of the people have the necessary intellect to pursue Gnana Yoga. It needs an extraordinarily sharp intellect. Most people's intellect is identified with who they are. Such intellect can never cut through all the tricks of life to arrive at something. It'll get all tangled up and come to philosophies and conclusions. Prejudiced philosophies will arise, realization will not happen. What is a 2-minute walk, they will take 2 lifetimes. Because the way of the intellect is to trip and trip and trip and trip. You can see this, even the scientific developments are going this way. They say something today, they already know after 5 years they'll say something different. It's not that they will discover this after 5 years, they already know that what they have said today is not really true. One part of it they are saying, after 5 years, this same thing will be different. Because this is the way of the intellect. An intellect can cut through certain physical realities. It cannot cut through the truth of life. You must be sharp enough to understand that. That's when you will listen to instructions. You know, you turn on the GPS and you do your own thing. I've seen a lot of people like this. They turn on the GPS and they do their own thing. Why do you need a GPS if you know it? If you're in your neighborhood, you know the way, you don't need GPS. You are in a terrain that you do not know, you listen. But no, intellect will not allow you to listen. The devotion looks like… Other people think that you're a fool because you're devout. Your experience will be great and the journey is always hastened because devotion is not for the dumb. Devotion is another dimension of intelligence. It is, if we have to say it in outwardly ways, intellect is wanting to conquer the truth. Devotion just embraces the truth. Devotion cannot decipher, but devotion can experience. Intellect can decipher, but can never experience. So this is a choice one has to make. There are many of you who might have been here for many years now, but you can't make up your mind. One day this way, one day that way, you walk through some process, either you're sitting with me or you're in the temple, you're exploring, you will come out, then you want to tell your friend, you know what? Suddenly your intellect says, don't be stupid. Maybe I was just hallucinating. Your body and your energy, what they speak, the language of the body and the language of the energy is far more reliable any day to the language of your mind and intellect. Your body's ability to lie and your energy's ability to deceive you are very minimal. But your mind's or your intellect's ability to deceive you is phenomenal. It can endlessly tell you lies and make you believe that's what it is on that day, and tomorrow make you feel like a fool for what you believed yesterday. So, if you listen to your body in your experience, if you listen to your energies, what they say is nearer to truth than what your mind says. It is because of this so much effort is taken to create or generate experiences for people, because what the body and energy says is far more real than what your mind says. Your mind is judging everything from what you know. It cannot arrive at a new dimension. It can only incrementally grow with information. Mind's growth is always incremental. A phenomenal change cannot happen in the mind. A phenomenal change can happen in your body. A phenomenal change can happen in your energies, but a phenomenal change will not happen. There is no quantum leap in your mind. Your body can take a quantum leap, your energies for sure can take a quantum leap, but there is no quantum leap for the mind. Your intellect will only change incrementally, depending upon little bits of crumbs that it gathers over a period of time. It slowly changes. That's why I said what would be a 2-minute walk takes 2 lifetimes because of the intellect. Is intellect a bad thing? No. You're just applying it in the wrong place. Is screwdriver a bad thing? I'm asking you. Screwdriver is the bad thing? No. But you have a speck of dust in your eye and you want to use the screwdriver, then it's wrongly used. Intellect is a phenomenal thing for your success in the world. You want to run your business, you want to do this, you want to do that, you need an intellect, otherwise you can't do it. But you trying to turn it inward and assess dimensions which don't fit into material world, access dimensions which are not logically there, because only if you have to apply your logic, you can apply your logic only and only if there are two entities. If there is you and me, that is logic. If there's just me and me, there is no logic. You need A and B to make logic out of it. If everything is just A, there is no logic. So you're entering into a realm, through the spiritual process where there's only one thing. And there, you're trying to battle with an instrument which needs two. It's an endless struggle. Realization of the intellect is just about realizing this is not the way. That takes a long time. Those of you who are flickering like tube lights for a long time, suddenly one day lighting up, another day like this, another day lighting up, another day like this in your spiritual process, you need to understand this is your fundamental problem. That when a big experience happens, your intellect recedes and it lights up. Again you go out, 2 days if you do some work, then your intellect overtakes your experience and questions the experience. Was that really true? Maybe I was hallucinating. Then you will see your struggles will start endlessly. Again we have to blow you, then for 2 days you're floating, again the silly intellect comes. You're not intellectually enough to realize you're not getting anywhere. That's a big problem. So don't continue to flicker like a tube light. If you go off fully and become depressed, you will know this is not the way. Rivers have been the lifelines of this nation.
మన దేశంలో నదులు మన జీవనాధారాలు. ఒక విధంగా చూస్తే ప్రతి దేశంలోనూ అంతే. మన సంస్కృతి, నాగరికత నది ఒడ్డున ఏర్పడ్డవే. భారతదేశంలోని అన్ని నదులు ప్రమాదకరమైన స్థాయిలో క్షీణిస్తున్నాయి. మరొక 15 నుండి 20 సంవత్సరాల్లో మన నదులు కొన్ని ఋతువుల్లో మాత్రమే ప్రవహిస్తాయి. అవి జీవనదులుగా ఉండవు. మీరు విమానంలో ఎగురుతూ కిందకి చూస్తే దేశమంతా గోధుమ రంగులో ఎడారిలా కనబడుతోంది. కృష్ణ 4 నెలల పాటు మహాసముద్రాన్ని చేరుకోవటం లేదు. కావేరి 2.5 నుంచి 3 నెలల పాటు సముద్రాన్ని తాకటం లేదు.
60 வருஷம் ஆகுதுங்க எனக்கு. ஒரு நாளையில இப்படி காஞ்சி போனது இல்லைங்க. தண்ணி எல்லாம் நிறைய வருது. இவ்வளவு நாளைக்கு முற்போடு இப்ப தாங்க இப்படி காஞ்சி வச்சு.
అందువల్ల ఇప్పుడు మనం చేయగలిసింది ఏమిటి? చాలా సులభం. మీరు చేయవలసిందల్లా పెద్ద పెద్ద నదులు ఇరుపక్కల ఒక్కో కిలోమీటర్ వరకు చెట్లే ఉండాలి. అది ప్రభుత్వ భూమి అయితే అడవులు, పొలాలు అయితే మామూలు పంటల నుంచి పళ్ళ చెట్లు. అది అలా జరగాలి అంటే మనం వాళ్ళకి సబ్సిడీ ఇవ్వాలి. రైతులు ఖరీఫ్, రబీ పంటలకు బదులు పళ్ల తోటలు లేదా ఔషధ వృక్షాలను నాటవచ్చు. దీనివల్ల మనం రైతుల ఆదాయాన్ని 4 నుండి 6 సంవత్సరాల్లో 3 నుంచి 8 రెట్లు పెంచవచ్చు. సెప్టెంబర్ నెలలో మేము నదులను కాపాడడానికి యాత్ర చేస్తున్నాము. నేను స్వయంగా 16 రాష్ట్రాల్లో డ్రైవ్ చేసుకుంటూ దేశంలో నదులు ఎండిపోతున్నాయి అనే విషయంలో ప్రజలకు అవగాహన ఏర్పడేలా సభలు, సమావేశాలు నిర్వహిస్తున్నాను. మధ్యప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్రం నా పిలుపుకు ముందుకు వచ్చిన మొదటి రాష్ట్రం.
मैं सदगुरु जी के पास बैठा था, उनसे चर्चा हो रही थी, तो उनने भी मुझे कहा कि शिवराज, नर्मदा जी बचानी चाहिए और उसके लिए पेड़ लगाने का अभियान प्रारंभ होना चाहिए.
ఎన్నో వేల సంవత్సరాలు ఈ నదులు మనల్ని అక్కున చేర్చుకుని పోషించాయి. ఇప్పుడు మనం మన నదుల్ని అక్కున చేర్చుకుని సంరక్షించుకోవలసిన సమయం ఆసన్నమైంది. మన దేశ గొప్పతనం అంతా ఇక్కడి గొప్ప నదులపై ఆధారపడి ఉంది. మన జనాభా 130 కోట్లు. 130 కోట్ల మందికి నీరు లేకపోతే అంతర్యుద్ధం వస్తుంది. ప్రజలేమైపోతారు? తాగడానికి నీళ్లు లేనప్పుడు మీరింక మానవత్వం గురించి మర్చిపోవచ్చు. నదులు ప్రవహించడం ఆగిపోతే దేశంలో చాలా భాగం మరుభూమి అయిపోతుంది. మనం చేయవలసినది వచ్చే 10-15 ఏళ్లలో చేయకపోతే సమయం మించిపోవచ్చు. మీరందరూ మీకు తగిన రీతిలో దీనిలో పాల్గొనమని అర్థిస్తున్నాను. అందరూ అంటే నీరు తాగే ప్రతివారు అని. మన నదులు పారేటట్లు చేయడం, ఈ భూమిని బాగా సమృద్ధిగా ఈ దేశ భావితరాలకు అందజేయడం మనం అందించగలిగిన గొప్ప కానుక.
ఇది ఒక నిరసన కాదు, ఇది ఒక ఆందోళనము కాదు. ఇది మన నదులు ఎండిపోతున్నాయని ప్రజలకు అవగాహన కల్పించే ఉద్యమం. మీరు నీరు తాగే జీవమైతే ఈ ఉద్యమంలో చేతులు కలపాలి.